You are now tuned in to the Space Bros. I'm Zeke, and that is Trey.
Yes. Make sure you subscribe to become part of the tribe. Do us
right and hit that like
and comment if you are rocking with the content now. Welcome back.
Yeah.
To another edition of Space Bros. Yeah, we are back. What's good, my guy?
Hey, man. Oh, man, things are good. I'm going to talk to you about Stranger Things, the first and the last episode.
Please don't do it. Now, by the time this comes out, I will have watched it.
Yeah, I know.
I promise.
I know. But people ever ruin stuff for you like that, man? I always feel like
they be trying to ruin
people
it.
always trying to be ruining stuff, man.
Oh, man.
I saw the fourth episode of The Boys and this and this. Hold on, man. I'm only on episode 2. I'm only on episode 2.
I feel like that was a personal shot.
Oh, yeah, a little bit.
Oh, yeah. Damn, man.
Because you tried to tell me so many times about episode 1 before. I think I started watching it right around episode 4 came out, and I was like, I haven't watched it yet. You're like, man, episode 1, man. Come on, I got to tell you. Come on, I got to tell you.
Hey,
I'm like, no, dude, don't tell me nothing.
We'll be hard, bro, because you know what I'm saying? We be watching a lot of the same movies
true.
and stuff like that, shows.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So we always try to be kind of on time. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I'm behind the 8 ball on a couple of things. So Doctor Strange, I still have not.
You still haven't seen that yet, bro?
I haven't seen it, man. The streets are killing me for it. Obviously, Stranger Things came out as of this episode, July 1st, and we are shooting. It is now July 2nd,
right?
And so everybody binge watched it yesterday.
I know, right, dude?
And so
I did watch the first one, because there are only 2 episodes, but it's about 4 hours long. First one's hour and a half, second one's 2.5.
Yeah, so I gotta catch up, bro. I gotta catch up. What else, man? Yeah, you're behind on The Boys.
Oh, I'm so behind on The Boys.
Sure.
Oh, I'm going to tell you something now. And it's not that I don't like The Boys. Mm-hmm. I'm just not into it right now.
Right.
I just, for whatever reason, my mind is not there. Like, I watched 2 episodes and I'm like, all right, I'm good right now.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I'll get into it and then I'll straight up binge it. And it'll be like a day and a half I'll watch.
There's a show that just came out on Prime Video.
Mm-hmm.
With God damn, what's his name, man? The guy from Jurassic Park, bro.
Chris Pratt.
Yeah. That looks.
Have you seen the previews? I've seen the previews
that shit
for that.
Look dope.
That looks really good, dude.
I'm like, I gotta hurry up and watch all this other shit so I can get on this.
I feel like there's just too much sometimes. Man.
You know what? And it's always like, especially the seasons that come back, they always drop. Like The Boys and Umbrella Academy is always around the same time.
That is true. And you know what's really funny too is, remember summertime used to be like really slow for like especially TV, right? Mm-hmm. And now that we have all these streaming services, summer is amazing because it's like you get all the blockbuster movies, right? If you're into the blockbuster stuff, I know some people aren't, but it's fun. It's the popcorn movie season, right? But then on top of that, we have all these cool summer TV shows that come out, man, that are just as awesome. Amazing to watch, and
I think you know why though, not just right now popped into my head. Summer's like the one time where there's no real sports besides baseball going on.
Right.
So like you got that one time of the year, like towards the end of the year, where it's like football, basketball, baseball starts.
Yeah, true.
Or baseball's in the thick, like the World Series.
Well, yeah, you have October, right? So you have the postseason of baseball. You have basketball starting.
Basketball's
getting
ready to get started.
Then you have football
in the meat of the season.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
When things are really starting to matter. Mm-hmm. So it's like,
and then hockey's right around the corner.
Hockey's right around it. Like, it's
crazy.
It makes no sense. You know what I'm saying? You know what, man? Speaking of football, bro, have you checked out any of the USFL stuff?
No, are they still doing that?
So
I didn't know.
USFL is on Fox Sports.
Is this the one that Dwayne Johnson owns?
No, that's the XFL.
Oh, the XFL. And they haven't started that yet either.
No, because they bought it. I think he bought it right before the pandemic.
Okay.
And because of the pandemic, he wasn't able to put anything out. You know what I'm saying? So
right.
I think I know they're still working on it. Mm-hmm. But the USFL started this year. Please forgive me.
This is stupid. Is it United States Football League?
United States Football League.
That's really interesting. Okay.
So USFL they were around at one point, and then they weren't.
Okay.
And then now they brought it back. But the thing is, when they brought it back this time, they used a bunch of like NFL people, ex-NFL people as like coaches,
okay,
GMs. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. And it's I can't remember how many teams. There's not a lot of teams. I think they're in the playoffs right now. I've tried to catch it because basically what they did was the whole season was in Birmingham, Alabama.
Okay.
And then the playoffs were at the Hall of Fame.
In Cleveland?
In Canton.
Oh, Canton, Ohio.
In Canton, Ohio. So I've been trying to like catch a little bit of it.
Yeah.
It's cool. You know what I'm saying?
What is it that's like kind of, is it wonky? Is it like,
no, there's
does
some
it seem kind of cheap
good,
or?
No, it's good talent out there, but then like you can definitely tell. Like, see, the thing is with like college football, you've got there's this a speed to the game. It's a different style,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Like it's a totally different style from the NFL. NFL's
and you have people balling out trying to get to the NFL,
right? And the NFL's slower paced,
right? In
the sense it's more methodical, right? So the USFL is like right in between that. And it's like, okay, is it fast paced? Is it methodical and NFL style? So it's the first season. I guess we'll see what happens. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I wonder though. I do wonder. Now you got the NCAA with the name, image, and likeness, the NIL rule, where kids can now get paid for their name, image, and likeness, which has been, to me, it's been great for the sport. You know what I'm saying? For college football, college sports in general.
Right.
And I really think it's going to be a big recruiting tool. It actually is. It already is. And I think it's going to be a reason for kids to stay now instead of wanting to bolt off. But I do wonder if like the USFL will, because you got to wait 3 years.
What do you mean?
You got to wait 3 years out of high school enter into the NFL, right?
Right, I got what you're saying.
So I wonder if like people are going to forego like the college experience and try to get signed on with the USFL.
That will be interesting.
You know what I mean?
I feel like though, with not knowing about the USFL, I feel like this is a bad time. Like summertime, I know there's, like you said, we just talked about, there's only baseball, but I feel like it needs to be right after kind of like the Super Bowl. Do you know what I'm saying?
So
like,
it is going to be like a spring league.
Because it would be so much better if it was a spring instead of a summer league. Do you know what I'm saying?
You got to figure.
And I'm just thinking as far as the United States, right? A lot of people travel around that time, right? So I think that's why you have not very many sports or just baseball in the summertime, right?
Yeah, spring, summer, yeah.
It's just a very cheaper sport to actually go watch too, you know?
Right.
And, there's so many games, but I just feel like that to be so cool, like people wanting more after a Super Bowl, and then it gets, a week or two later, the USFL starts.
I think that's what they're going to end up doing.
Because piggybacking right off the NFL,
right,
I think would be such a smart move. Either the XFL doing it or the USFL doing that. You know what I'm saying? Because obviously you don't want to compete with NFL.
No, you can't. You can't.
And because you'll just get pummeled.
It's impossible.
Yeah, you'll get pummeled. It's too established at this point. Yeah. It just won't work. But
I think they're trying to brand themselves as a feeder league as well.
Okay.
So they want to, and I think the NFL is going to look at them as kind of not only a feeder league, but like a league that they can try like rules and shit out in.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying?
That would be really interesting.
Like, hey, try this out. See if it works for a season.
Are there any different rules that you know of for the USFL
There's a couple
year?
different ones that they did as far as like I think there's a different extra point rule.
Okay.
So there's some different things that they did. But I do think going forward, it'll be interesting to see going forward. Mm-hmm. You know, like you said, can they start it a little bit earlier? Obviously, this was the first year they put it together.
Right.
So they might
I
start it like
totally understand
in March.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But then you got to think, you know, as they get more teams, you're talking, you know, are they going to do I don't know how long the season is right now, but are they going to be like a 17-week like the NFL? Or are they going to be a shortened?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think a short would actually be even better.
That's what I'm
you
like.
know,
a short,
like half or even like 10.
Well, college is 12.
12.
So I feel like if you do like a college season,
right, a 10 or 12,
and then playoffs, which
right,
would give you probably 3 more weeks.
By the way, I can't stand the NFL playoff rules that they implemented this past year. Well, more teams are getting into the playoffs now.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that to me, I don't know. It's just like it's.
But they're doing,
isn't it? Correct me if I'm wrong. Isn't it half the league for NFL getting into the playoffs?
Damn,
half.
Yeah,
I think it's half, isn't it?
Almost.
There's 32 teams.
14 teams get in. So almost half.
Almost half.
Yeah.
That's I don't know. That's just crazy.
It used to be 12.
Because somebody who's got a 500. You know, can get in.
Yeah.
You know, and I just.
Well, I think part of the reason I'm with you. All the sports are doing it now.
Are they really?
Oh
okay?
Yeah, NBA's got a playing game now. It's like, so if you're like, it used to be your top 8. I want to say, yeah. Every NBA changes all the time. All these sports change all the time. But yeah, they got playing game now.
Okay.
So if you're like in that like 9-10 spot, you can play yourself into the playoffs, win a couple games, and then now you're essentially the 8 seed, right? So
I don't know, man. I might be able to school.
I don't know. Look, I get it because there's always like a conversation in every sport, and the thing with the NFL though, this is what the NFL needs to do. Instead of doing the 7 teams or whatever on each side,
right?
They need to pick the best teams. The problem is the NFL is set up for its division winners.
Right. It is. It's
division winners, and then the top 4 seeds are the division winners, and then they take that. God, dude, sometimes certain divisions just suck. Well, it's like the NFC East. And look, man, the Cardinals got in. The Cardinals had a terrible record when they got into the playoffs, right?
Right.
And they went on that championship run where they eventually lost to the Steelers, and they got in and had a second home game because they were division winners.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's hard because it's like, well, damn, they made it. You know, they made it to the championship, so they must have been a decent team, right? But I do think it should be like in basketball, best teams from each conference, right? Mm-hmm. And from each conference, like I'm not saying, I think eventually, I think all leagues are going to go into, if it's 16 teams that get in, if it's 14, if it's whatever, it's going to be the top, and then one will play 16 regardless, right? Whatever the case may be, and they'll play it out from there. They'll figure out how to play it out from there. But yeah, I think at least it should be the top. If you're saying 16, the top 8 from each by record, because then what is the regular season for then?
Well, I was just thinking about that as you were talking.
Because you can back your ass into the playoffs being a division winner.
Yeah.
Like, we're 8-8, but everybody else is fucking 3 and whatever. You know what I mean? Like,
right. And my other thing is going kind of back to baseball is how long the season is, right? 140 some games, right? 142 games, something like that. Mm-hmm. Dude, I just. The problem with baseball, and I know you like baseball, right? And you watch a lot of baseball, and especially in recent years.
Yeah, I've been watching baseball, yeah, for sure.
a lot of these games don't really mean anything.
No, they don't.
You know, and that's the problem I have. It just they're almost throwaway games in a sense. It's like
big time.
I mean, yeah, you want to win, right? Because eventually, but it's almost like after the All-Star break, which is coming up here in July, right? It should be and then it starts. People start really paying attention because it's like, okay, what's happening? I really think they need to shorten it. I think it needs to be like 80 games.
I agree.
I really do. And because we went to a game, I really think the game needs to be, and I know they're working on it, right? But I'm not sure what they're trying to do it. You know, I don't follow sports that closely much anymore. I do like sports, just don't follow as close.
Right.
Is they got to speed up that game, man. They got to speed up this game somehow.
I'll tell you that them doing the international tiebreaker, which is after 9 innings, if you are tied, each team gets a runner on second to start the inning going forward. I think that's helped a ton. They do it in softball. They've been doing it in softball. It helps a ton.
True.
It's hard because baseball is like the weirdest sport in the sense of tradition. Like, they do not want to get rid of old rules. You know what I mean? They're like, no, we can't.
But legit though, that I like that rule because there have been games have gone damn 20 innings.
Dude, I think if you shorten the season to 100 games,
right? Yeah, 100 would be
100 games. You space them out. You have more divisional play, more conference play, where like every freaking game. Because now, dude, you go into a 3-game series with whoever, like, there's going to be a game where you're kind of like, you're resting people.
Yeah.
Like, legit. Like, you're like, I'm, because I know we're going to play, you know, the Padres on the next series. Like, I'm not pitching Clayton Kershaw this series at all.
Right.
You know what I mean? Or I might give him 2 innings and then that's it. And then, because I need him for 7 in 3 days. You know what I'm saying? So I do agree they got to shorten. They got to do something about.
I think that I'm dead serious when I say this too. I think they need to have. I think let them do steroids.
Let them do steroids. Bring steroids back.
I'm going to tell you something, dude. How exciting! I'm serious. How exciting was it when Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire were going?
We were just talking about this the other day.
Slugging it out.
Yeah.
Going for, and even maybe Barry Bonds.
Bring back the HGH.
Dude, I mean, that's exciting baseball to me, man. Like it'd
be crazy if everybody was just doing HGH. You got pitchers fucking running a .5 ERA because they're just throwing 110 every fucking time.
Talk about a different league. They should have a U.S.
U.S. baseball,
BL,
USBL,
USBL league.
USBL. Hey man, I mean,
where it's like, yep, you guys want to do steroids? Go right ahead. This is how fun it's gonna be, dude.
Hey, every time you go out, they're just handing you a little thing of HGH and shit. You know what I mean? Pop that shit right before you get over.
Or if I could just inject
man, just right in the dugout. Oh man,
sticking it right in the ass.
Still chewing tobacco and shit, bro. That would be hilarious.
That would be awesome to watch, dude.
That would be hilarious.
I think a lot of people would tune in back to baseball.
Oh man, that would be crazy.
Major League Baseball might go away, dude.
Well, you know what's so stupid about that too? Because you got people like Barry Bonds who hasn't been able to get into the Hall of Fame because of that shit.
Right.
And it's so dumb because anybody who watched baseball back then, if you watched Barry Bonds before he got big, he was a Hall of Famer then.
Dude, Barry Bonds.
And I do not like the Giants, bro. But Barry Bonds is him and Ken Griffey Jr. Were my 2 favorite players growing up.
Right.
Right. And funny, they were for totally opposite reasons because the kid was different. He was just talented. You know what I'm saying? And Barry Bonds was a grown man.
Right.
And look, man,
dude, Barry
I don't
Bonds
give a damn how big you are, bro. I really don't. Do you know how fucking hard it is to hit a baseball? At 90-something miles an hour?
Right. I don't know if people have seen a ball come at them.
I got so excited, man. COVID's came out, man. Goddamn.
But I don't know if many people have seen 90-mile-an-hour pitch. I know I haven't, but I've been to a batting cage where I've seen like 60-mile-an-hour coming at me. You know how fast 60 is? Coming at a ball coming, dude, you could barely see a 60-mile-an-hour.
I've seen softball pitchers, bro. College softball pitchers pitch 70-something, and it looks like
a blur.
It's like phew.
The only thing different about the softball is it's a bright green ball, but it doesn't matter. It's still a blur.
Do you know how hard it is? Like, stop it.
Right. Oh, no, legit.
There was a lot of guys doing AGH who wasn't smacking the ball like Barry Bonds. Let's just keep it a buck.
Well, no.
Or like Mark McGwire or Sammy Sosa. Like, those dudes could hit.
They've always could hit.
They're always hitters, man.
Obviously.
It just took it an extra 100 feet. All right. You know what I'm saying?
They always were that, right? You know? And one of my favorite players back in the day was Jose Canseco, man. I loved Jose Canseco back in the day. And, dude, he was juicing always. Oh, yeah, he's been juicing always, dude. Yeah. I have a picture of Jose. I got his autograph. Went to
he was the original juice before O.J. Simpson.
I was waiting for it.
Yeah, you like that? You like that? Big juice.
But I remember seeing him in person, man. I got his autograph. I still have the frame and everything of him signing. And when I saw him, how big he was. Now I was a kid, right? So obviously people are. And adults are bigger when you're a child anyways. But he was big, dude. His arms were massive, man. Yeah. Massive. Like I think they were like cantaloupe size, dude. Yeah. I don't think you can fit your two hands around it. You know what I'm saying? He was a big dude. He was just a big dude. And God, those were so much fun, man, back in the day. Fun. I don't know, did you ever go to those, dude? Like those little sporting they had like baseball cards, you know, basketball cards, football cards. It was like a sporting like conference almost, and then they would always have like certain people there from sports, right? And I was always into baseball when I was young, man. Shout out to my mom, man. She got me into baseball. You know, she was a Dodgers fan. I was the A's fan.
Shout out to Dodgers.
You know, and you know, it was just those were so much fun, and you know, my dad and my uncle. I remember taking me when I was younger to some of those, man. And even actually some of the spring training games. And I'm not sure if we saw them here. I can't remember. I was so young, man. But seeing Darryl Strawberry, dude, back in the day, man.
Hamburger's huge.
Yo, dude. And, you know, trying to get an autograph from him. And I didn't get an autograph from him, but I said hi to him. You know what I'm saying? Because he was, like, coming out on the field. And he was, like, not doing autographs and stuff. But at least I got to see Darryl Strawberry. Oh, man, dude. I loved baseball back in the day, man.
But baseball's very good now, too, bro. It is.
I'll take your word for it.
Yeah.
I'll take your word for it. No, I'm not saying that in like
especially
I just take your word for it.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
I think it's gotten really good.
Well, shoot, I even think my mom and my sisters, dude, have really gotten into, you know, they're at least in the postseason texting back and forth, you know, during the postseason.
Postseason baseball is a beauty. It's a beautiful thing to watch. You know what I'm saying? Beautiful. Like, I think even more than postseason basketball.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because, like, the beginning rounds of postseason basketball are kind of bunk. Unless, like, if your team's in it, then it's like, all right, cool.
Okay.
But, like, watching every team, it's like, up until really, like, the conference finals is when it gets good. Like, the playing games and all that stuff, boo-boo. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But conference finals and the finals, lit. But, like, playoff baseball?
Yeah.
Like, every pitch? Because you don't score that much.
It seemed...
So you score, like, 3 runs, it's like...
Well, it's always the crowd, right? The crowd is always amazing, man. Yeah, I love seeing that during even, you know, every sport. It doesn't matter.
Fly, it's like,
yeah, like, and then everybody gets up, you know, and you know, or even when your team strikes out somebody, man, and how people go crazy over that.
Yeah, I'll be getting.
Oh man, it's amazing.
Shout out to Tony Gonsolin, man, for the Dodgers, man. 1.9 ERA, he's killing it.
Oh man, that is a great ERA, by the way.
Stupendous.
I mean, it's freaking nuts. He must be roiding it up.
He's a pretty big guy.
Oh, so he's cheating the system, is what you're saying.
Look, man, I'm not gonna say I sent him some HGH, but I sent him some HGH.
By the way, man, basketball, dude. Who was even in the final? It was the Warriors and
finals
Celtics?
was good, bro. Finals were good. Warriors and Celtics. It was a good finals.
I haven't heard anybody talk about the Warriors and Celtics this year.
No,
I usually hear people talk about sport. No matter where you're at, people talk about like the finals or whatever it is, Super Bowl, baseball, the whole championship, the World Series, everything, right? And I felt like this one was just from an outsider looking in, because I obviously have basketball's been one of my leagues. I really liked basketball too when I was younger. I really fallen away from basketball. I really like baseball and football. Basketball is just kind of like whatever. But always conversations in hallways, the water cooler talk, always the sport. Dude, I didn't hear nothing about. I just kind of barely remember it was good.
It wasn't great because it's hard, bro. Because styles make fights for one, and the Warriors are one of those teams where, for one, they weren't expected to do anything this year, honestly, and then it was like they got on a roll and were back to being the Warriors, and it's like, oh shit, here we go.
Right,
I really think they're starting to become very Patriots-ish, where like I think there's just a little bit of fatigue.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Because it's like I think a lot of people wanted them to have a really bad, like, oh, they were so good for this period of time, and then they were bad, right? But then like people were injured, it was all kind of shit, and then I think people wanted them to be bad for longer, and it was like, nah, they just re-upped, they draft super well, so like they got 3-4 guys on the bench that are hella young that can hoop. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And they've always been that way. The core of their team is from the draft. Draymond, Clay, and Steph. They're all draftees. You know what I'm saying? So, I think people just were like, "Come on, man, come on!" And then a lot of people were rooting for the Suns this year.
Right. That was kind of actually.
I think they were the team that everybody was like, come on, please.
And I think, especially because we live in Arizona, right? That I think that took a.
But I think around the league, bro.
But I think that took here though, and I'm answering my own. Yeah. I'm answering my own question because now you just reminded me of that, because I do remember that very vividly and specifically when the Suns lost everybody who was everybody who even doesn't even root for the Suns was like, what happened? I'm so disappointed the Suns didn't make it in.
Shout out to Two-Toe, man.
Okay.
Shout out to Two-Toe, because Two-Toe, he was killing me during the playoffs, bro. He's like, oh, y'all want to make these raggedy ass Rally the Valley songs. I was dying.
That's right. I do remember.
He was killing me with that. But you know what, bro? I'm not even gonna stunt. Like he be kind of right. He was kind of right on point with that, because even I think the season before something else happened with like some models and stuff and some Suns players.
Yeah.
And he was like, oh. Shout out to Two-Toe. Will he hit you with that?
Shout out to Two-Toe, man.
Shout out to our guy, man.
Since we're here, man, we had a question, and we put it on our thing, and will we see any more historical moments in sports anymore?
Yo, I really don't know, bro. And I asked you this question.
You did. And we put it on our little, we have a little...
Yeah, our little podcast list.
Yeah. And I honestly didn't know we were talking about sports today. But
I had no idea either. Actually, I just started
we just hit record and we just went.
Legit. Because I was actually going to talk about something totally different, but it's all right. We went there. So, I don't know, bro, because so the reason let me kind of make this question clear for the people.
Right.
The reason I asked this question is because sports, like, there's a lot of firsts that have already been done. Right. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like the perfect game, the shutouts, right? Like these moments, Michael Jordan years, you know, him flying from the freaking free throw line. I think we're going to have great athletes, but I don't think we're going to have, kind of similar to like music too. Like, I don't really think we're going to have historical moments where we can look back centuries, right? Decades from now and be like, because there's stuff like, let's put it like this. Bill Russell, Wilt Chamberlain, right? These guys are legendary and had legendary moments, right?
Okay.
You go back, Dallas Cowboys and some of those moments, right? The miraculous receptions and I forget the college one where they ran on the field and they ended up doing it and they ended up scoring the touchdown, right? I forget the name of it, but where they have names for these historical moments, you know,
Right.
that every time the playoffs come around or the beginning of a season comes around, like MLB has a commercial right now for, I think, for their channel, for MLB channel. And it shows Mark McGwire. It shows,
Oh, really?
what's his name? Piazza.
Oh,
right.
okay.
It shows, it shows.
Oh, Kirk Gibson doing
like that's a moment,
That
bro.
is
like,
and he was so hurt in that game.
bro, he shouldn't even been on the field. He
Oh,
couldn't
man,
even walk.
Right.
You know what I mean?
That's tough, man. I
that's what I'm saying.
love
Like, are
seeing
we
that
gonna
tough stuff,
get
man. Yeah.
those type of moments anymore? Because it's kind of like everything's really been done. Like the Jerry Rices of the world, like
the Patriots of the world too, like an organization like the
I
Patriots,
feel like-
the organization like the Bulls, you know,
Yeah.
the '90s Bulls, you know,
and even though the Warriors have been really, really good, but do you like you understand
will
their
say-
greatness?
I will say this,
But like, I don't have an image in my head.
I think
Steph
Curry is
great players. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
The greatest part of the Golden State, like the most memorable thing about the Golden State dynasty, is LeBron and Kyrie coming back down 3-1 to beat them.
right.
That is the most memorable thing about all their championships, is that you're like, yeah, but they had the best record ever in the regular season and lost 3-1 in the finals.
right.
That's the most memorable thing. Like, are we going to get real memorable moments,
Yeah, and
bro?
love them or hate them. Tom Brady, the Patriots, Belichick, you know, Gronk. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like that.
The Tuck rule.
The
Come on, man.
and, you know, so that particular team, insane. Now they almost did something that they didn't complete.
I know. You know what? And
The
we talked
perfect
the perfect
season.
Right.
Now that can still be done. That is
That can
something
still be
that
done.
will be a historical moment.
It will be. if
That
it's
will
ever
be an
done.
historical moment. But will it carry, like, let's say it's you know, the Philadelphia Eagles that do it. I don't know, just pull the rent.
No, like
you know what I'm
legit,
saying?
Like,
And they
it's
do that.
like the Tennessee Titans.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
You're gonna be like, all right.
That was cool. But
But, like,
are
when
you?
it's
it's really going to be interesting to see if you remember
were
that.
smoking dudes that I'm spitting all over the place. Dude. I'm getting too excited. They were smoking fools that season.
Man, they've been smoking fools
No,
for years.
that was
But
that was the
one,
Randy Moss.
Right.
Like, Tom Brady never had a receiver like that. He was just literally like, go get it.
right,
And Randy Moss was just cooking
cooking them.
them.
Yeah,
I actually, that was the one year I rooted for the Patriots.
was that, well, yeah, because you wanted to see.
I
you wanted
love
to see
legendary
history.
shit, bro.
Yeah, that's history.
I
though,
love
right?
seeing legendary
Yeah.
shit, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not one of, I don't, like, you win, okay, I'm gonna always show respect.
So
You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And
yeah.
I can, there is a thing to being like, it's like, damn, okay, the Patriots in it every year. But like, when you do legendary shit, because you know that's something that, one, may never be done.
right.
Two, if you get to witness it, you can be fucking 7 years old, 60 years old, talking to your grandkids, being like, I witnessed the only perfect season ever in the Super Bowl era.
Right. I would okay. Because I know
Like,
you're.
what
you,
would be the
because
moment?
well, see, and I think you're leaning more towards, like, you don't think that it will get that again. We'll get those crazy historical moments, but I think I would disagree with that, because I think there's something we're not seeing, right?
Okay.
And I don't know what that is. Obviously, I don't know. I can't see it, right? I don't know what that looks like, right? Is it in a different sport? Is it football? Is it basketball? Is it baseball? I mean, baseball, you could talk about the Dodgers back in the 80s, right? Late 80s, early 90s. Man, they had a crazy, that was the Kirk Gibson era, right? They had a crazy run in there. Is there something with that? I mean, I guess you could say Yankees at what was that? They had a run forever. Everybody hates the Yankees because they kept buying everybody. Yeah. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying?
And they killing everybody this year too.
Oh, are they?
They're smoking fools, dude.
So, is it something like that? You know what I'm saying? Are we going to see crazy stuff like that?
And here's the other reason why. Here's the other reason why I say that.
Okay.
We are in the information era, right? So when things happened, it took, there's so much stuff going on, and it's so quick. Dude, there was a play that happened in the finals. I forget what the play was. The play happened. Oh, it was Jordan Poole. I think it was the finals, but it was definitely in the playoffs. Jordan Poole hit a halftime buzzer beater from damn near half court. I went on Instagram at halftime. I'm scrolling. Boom. Somebody's already edited it, and it's on Instagram with music, bro. Just happened.
It does move fast.
You see what I'm saying? So it's right. When those big moments happen, they were just larger than life moments, and then it took a while, right? It was the only thing you talked about on SportsCenter, on the sports shows. Right. You talked about it for half the goddamn day. Now it's like it happens. Okay, we got to talk about this, but then there's 20 other things going on. You know what I mean? So that's where I think the information era, it makes it hard for it to be a truly memorable moment. And we're so on to the next thing that is it really memorable?
That is true, especially in this day and age that we live in. I actually do agree with you on that because everything is so fleeting. You know what I'm saying? It's like you talk about it if you talk about it for more than a day.
Oh man,
that's crazy. And then, but if it's a 24-hour thing, that's about all you get.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. And then something else has happened.
Oh, something else has already happened.
Whether it's sports or something, you know what I'm saying. Yeah. Everything is taking our time instantly.
The NFL draft, not memorable, but the NFL draft and the NBA draft is kind of expanded and they're trying to do more because the NFL draft is huge. Right. It's a spectacle of a thing. Dude, the next day you're when it's over, by that end of that weekend, you're all right, on to the next.
Right.
And it used to be man, did you see who got when the kid from Clemson, goddamn, what's his name? I forget, but the kid from Clemson, when he got you, because he was guaranteed number one pick for sure for 3 years. When he was at Clemson, and then he got picked by the Jaguars, and it was all right, cool, whatever. You know what I mean?
Is it to do with the quarterback? Long hair?
Yeah. I forget his name.
What is his name? Yeah, anyways.
But, because he didn't have a great season last year, but that was because of Urban Meyer, whatever.
Well, then you go to a team like the Jaguars, and the Jaguars are, and I hate on them. It's just, they're not one of those teams. Do you know what I'm saying?
You forget they're even in the league, bro.
Sometimes you do.
Legit.
Unless you're...
They were good for a little bit back in the Fred Taylor days. When Fred Taylor,
right.
Shout out to Fred Taylor. Shout out to the Pivot Podcast. So I love that podcast. But they were good back in the days, Fred Taylor days. And then they had a couple good seasons a few years ago. But they've never been like I said, it's kind of like the Tennessee Titans too, bro.
Right. There's definitely those teams around.
But Jaguars are
right. There's a couple of them, right? You know.
Boom. Yo, there's been another major announcement. Recently. USC, my guys, USC Trojans, and the UCLA Bruins are leaving the Pac-12 in 2024 to join the Big Ten. It's done.
So why is that a big deal?
For one, the Pac-12 is a Power 4 conference.
Okay.
Right? SEC, Big 12, Big 10, Power 5, excuse me, ACC, and the Pac-12. Okay. The two marquee programs in the Pac-12 is the USC Trojans and the UCLA Bruins.
Okay.
When their sports programs are doing well, the Pac-12 is doing well.
Okay.
The other reason it's a huge deal is because the Big Ten is finalizing a TV deal. So the biggest thing that these conferences are doing is they're signing these massive TV deals. Okay. $1 billion TV deals. Why is this important? It's important because when you sign these TV deals, that money gets divvied up throughout the conference to each school. Okay.
Okay.
So ACC signs a TV deal. They get all this money from whatever network. They take that and they divide it evenly amongst every team in the ACC. SEC has a huge one with ESPN. I think the Big Ten is going to be with Fox Sports, if I'm not mistaken. And I think maybe NBC, but I did hear Fox Sports. So the reason this is a big deal is because Pac-12 didn't make no goddamn money last year.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't have a TV deal. They have a Pac-12 network, which you have to pay money for to get like all the Pac-12, this and this and this and this and this.
That's crazy especially for like USC and UCLA.
Exactly.
Teams.
Now, USC and UCLA,
yeah,
they're big brands. So do they normally end up on
right? Yeah.
On Prime TV?
Yeah, they do.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right? But them going there, I can't remember the exact amount.
Okay.
I think each school made like $300 million from whatever, right?
Okay.
They're due to make like $800 million.
Oh, that's a big increase.
Something like that going to the Big Ten.
That's a big increase. Yeah.
Because of it's a multi-billion-dollar deal. So not only is it huge for that, but you take them away, where's the Pac-12? Like,
who else is in the Pac-12?
So you got Oregon, Oregon State, Washington State, Colorado, Utah, Cal, Stanford.
There's a couple other teams in there. That
Arizona State.
Okay.
I think I got everybody.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Oregon State, Washington State, Colorado, Utah, Arizona State.
No, I was just curious.
Yeah.
You know, like what other teams like
Cal, Stanford. Yeah, that's it right there.
right. There's a couple other
10
teams in there, but I mean,
nah, dude.
But it's not the powerhouse of.
So like let's say
especially
Oregon
USC.
Oregon is the third on that list. They'll now be number one, which I'm hearing they about to join the Big Ten.
Oh, really?
Dude, why would you not?
Yeah. Well, then is
not making any money.
Well, the Pac-12 going to just dissolve then?
I think honestly, and I ran into a guy at Target yesterday, and he saw that I had my USC lanyard on, and he's an Ohio State fan. And we just started chopping it up real quick. He's, oh man, welcome to the Big Ten. And we started talking about it, and he was like, I think at some point there's going to be two conferences, two big ass conferences.
Okay,
it's going to be the SEC and whatever the Western Conference is, and that's what it's going to be. Because how and some schools are going to get kicked out. Like,
sure,
they're going to start taking the best of the best of the best,
right,
and putting these in these power. You know what I mean,
right?
Because it only makes sense. It only makes sense to have, when you're at the top, to have 2 big conferences,
right,
in Division I. You know what I mean? Because the level of competition at the bottom of some of the conferences is terrible.
Terrible. Yeah, it's just boring, and it's
like
not,
when these teams are bad, they're really, really bad.
Yeah, it's almost like watching high school football.
Yeah,
in a sense. I mean, maybe not that. I mean, but it kind of is, right?
Close to. It's like watching the best high school football team.
Right. You know, and
which looks great in high school.
well, yeah, if you're in high school, man, like
it looks great in high school because you're dominating everybody. But once you get to college, you're getting your ass whooped. You know what I'm saying? So,
right.
Yeah, dude. At first, when I heard the news, being a USC fan, I was like, nah.
But now you're excited about it.
My whole life has been Pac-12.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So, and then I was like, oh, they're going to get some money. And they'll be facing a little bit tougher competition. To me, they'll be facing tougher competition because they'll have to play Ohio State, Michigan State, Penn State, Wisconsin. And it's not for all sports. I think water polo,
we going water polo,
volleyball, and something else stayed for USC, and I think UCLA kept a couple things in the Pac-12 because you can do that.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to. So like Notre Dame is independent as a football team, but all their other sports play in the ACC.
Gotcha. Okay.
So you can do that, but because I mean,
I don't want to get into the weeds real quick, but you getting all that money, shouldn't the players get some of that?
Well, that's where the NIL comes in.
Okay.
So the NIL, before, players couldn't get money, like from agents and stuff.
Right.
From agents or not, you couldn't even hire an agent.
Right.
And then,
because you get in back in the day, you got in trouble if you got like gifts and stuff
they still ain't gave Reggie Bush his Heisman back, bro.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, NCAA is boo. Well, it's just like when they make weed legal, but then there's all these people who still locked up for possession of weed.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, no, they can use it, but y'all got to stay in there. Like,
I really feel like though,
but that's the NCAA. That's how they operate.
I just feel like, and it could just be a base for everybody. Like you're playing, everybody gets $5,000 a game or something like that. Every player. Do you know what I mean?
I agree with you.
Because then,
but at least I'll say this. I totally agree with you because it is a business. People got to stop playing with this shit. It's a business. Every sport makes money, dog.
They just made a business deal. That's whatever.
It's a business.
$600-800 million for Fox Sports. Yeah. That's a lot of money to be made. Why won't you kick down these kids? I mean, shoot, you could not necessarily pay them. There's so many different ways you could do this. You could put it in funds. You can. You could put it as long as you finish the season or seasons, you fulfill your duty to this school. We'll give you $30,000 or $50,000.
Here's the reason why it's
end.
difficult
Something
is because you got to look at how to pay every player for every sport and what does that mean and what's that money like when.
But it doesn't even have to be that much. That's what I'm saying. Like if everybody gets a flat rate, right?
But stay with me.
Right, okay.
Here's the reason that's going to become a problem. If I'm USC football and I'm getting paid this, and I'm the flagship sport,
right?
Or if I'm UCLA basketball, which has traditionally been good, right? Or Villanova basketball, which has traditionally been good, and I'm getting paid this, and then every other sport is getting paid the same as me or as my players. But I'm the one that's bringing in this much revenue.
Well, they ain't getting paid. Nobody's getting paid anything now.
No, but they're allowed to off their name, image, and likeness. That's where the difference is.
Oh,
so you
gotcha.
can, you see what I'm saying? So once they introduced that into it, it was like, cool, we don't got to do nothing, which is fine. Like, I agree with you, but them doing an NIL deal was the easiest way for them to be like, well, we're not technically paying them.
Gotcha.
So we still see them as amateurs, but they are allowed to make money off of
that was
themselves.
The loophole.
That was the loophole.
Yeah. Okay. I get it.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Which has been great, dude, for like South Carolina women's basketball team that just won the championship. I think they're one of the biggest, one of the highest paid teams when it comes to NIL.
Oh, okay.
Oklahoma softball is one of the highest paid teams, like across the board when it comes to NIL. The girl, Jocelyn Alo, that plays for Oklahoma, who's probably one of the best softball players ever. She's got dumb deals, bro. So I mean, that's great. You know what I'm saying? I think it's great. And if that's the loophole, it's awesome.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I didn't know that. Honestly, I did not know that.
And look, that's all that players have ever wanted in college. If we're putting asses in seats, and y'all are making billions of dollars
off of,
and we can't even we can't sign an autograph and make money from it.
Right.
We can't sell our jersey in exchange for a tattoo. This is like stuff that's happened. We couldn't even do that. You couldn't use yourself. You couldn't use you in exchange of, let me get it. I'll sign a couple jerseys for you. Hook me up with a tattoo. You get in trouble for that. So it's like, come on, bro. But every other kid who doesn't play a sport is allowed to make money in any way that they want to. If you want to invent something and patent something, you can make money while you're in school. Are they not amateurs?
Right.
Are they not? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Or they're professionals now?
Yeah,
they're in school.
I get you, yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think that's all the players ever wanted, and that's great. You know what I mean? I do think, now not for nothing, that money does get divvied up to the teams.
Right.
To the different sports. In the sense of what they do is, your USC football, we made this much money, we're about to build y'all some brand new facilities.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Your UCLA softball, you made this much money, we're about to build y'all.
Right.
That's how it gets divvied up. And so like, look, we're using it for, and then name, images, likeness, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's a huge deal, man. It's a huge deal. So it won't be this season. It won't be next season. It'll be the season after. So 2024 is when it kicks in. And I would expect within the next 3 to 6 months for at least 2 other teams to
kind of hop on board with that.
Sure.
I can see that for sure. Being like,
yeah,
I'm going over here.
Yeah, we'll make it a big.
While you're making that money, while you see it's dollar signs for eyeballs, I'm going over there.
Oh yeah,
you know what I'm saying.
And Oregon could stand to make, especially with them being sponsored by Nike and everything.
Right.
I'll make dumb money.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Man, we haven't talked about sports in a while, dude.
No, it's been a minute, but you know what I'm saying. It's been a lot of crazy stuff.
And I know you, man. You the sports guru
I love
around
my sports,
here.
man.
Yeah, you do. Definitely.
I got sports on all day, bro.
All day. I'll call you, man. You'd be like, what you doing? Watching Dodgers.
Watching Dodgers.
For right now, anyways.
Watching.
But I mean, you're always watching. Or shoot, just when was the women's softball?
Oh yeah, I was all over.
That was just like a month or so ago, wasn't it? So I know that was on. Every time I come over here, man, all the games were on here, dude.
It's very rare that
softball's fun to watch. By the way, if anybody hasn't checked out the women's softball, dude,
hold on. Before we get out here, we really got to jump into this. At some point, there is a professional softball league right now called Athletes Unlimited.
Okay,
and check it out if you guys have a chance. If you love softball, go check it out. Okay, but it's not a fully structured league. It
needs to be.
There needs to be a real professional softball league. They have one in Japan,
right?
That's highly successful,
right?
Highly successful. Like softball is a great game to watch, dude.
Great.
It's so fast paced.
Talk about fast paced.
It's so fast paced.
Right?
It's 7 innings.
It is so fast, dude. Those girls, fantastic, man, to watch.
Base running.
Yes, I agree, dude. I'd actually rather watch softball. I bet you anything I would get into softball.
People don't like it because it's girls, bro. That's it.
They're stupid.
Women.
People are idiots.
Excuse me. It's women and girls.
People are idiots, dude. I mean, it's so stupid. To watch a softball game, like a college game, bro. Right?
Amazing.
It is so much fun to watch. These girls are very competitive. World
Series, bro, shits on the baseball college. World
dude.
Series. It's not even close.
Not even close.
Not even close, dude.
I really think that's a really good point. I'm glad you brought that up. I really think there should be a women's major league softball. You know, like that really should be a thing. Start off small. It doesn't have to be like, but can we make the steps?
Eight teams.
Make the step. Let's start making the steps.
Yeah.
You know, to building that.
Start building these huge softball stadiums.
You know, well, shoot, dude,
up.
you could even play off of some of these already stadiums that are around.
That's
You know
true.
what I'm saying? Like, you don't even need to build anything yet. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like that's
Oklahoma
what I'm saying.
has a great stadium.
Build off of what you already have.
Yeah.
Right?
I
And
agree.
then build the fan base and get it going.
I
would
agree.
be stoked to see that.
Oh, I'm pulling up.
Oh, man. I think that would be a better game to go watch in person, too.
Oh, they're amazing to watch in person.
So
they're loud.
Oh, man.
You know what
dude.
I'm saying? There's a lot of cheering. And that's the other thing. People are like, but they be cheering the whole time. They be cheering in the dugout in baseball, too. You just can't hear their ass because they way the hell over there.
That's because you sit in the nosebleed.
They sit down there.
Yeah.
They underneath. They're in a tunnel.
Yeah, they're in
Then
a
they
dugout. Yes.
Stop it. Cut it out, man.
Yeah, cut it out with
Y'all
that
be
crap,
on some
man.
bullshit. Y'all be on some bullshit. Shout out to Barry, man. Shout out to Barry, man.
Oh, man. Awesome, man.
Yeah, man.
Thank you guys for tuning into the Space Bros.
So for sure, man.
And you know what it is. You guys stay safe and you guys stay positive out there.
Yeah, man. It's the Space Bros.
Peace.